Could you both right now, could you do Will and Grace? Could you do Wings with the workload and all that? Could you do it right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, because I think the dirty secret of sitcom is that it's not that many hours a week.
Right.
It's the writers that work hard on a sitcom.
Yeah.
It's the people building the sets. But for me, I found that because the reboot just ended a couple of years ago. I mean, that is a kind of sprint for me. It's a fabulous sprint. Whereas I think doing an hour-long show out of town, away from your family,
14 hours a day.
Oh, so there's the scenes at night. I mean, small, and you're in my favorite town. Vancouver is my favorite town.
I love Vancouver.
It's a great town.
It is.
And but it's that takes it out of you. That is a different commitment than the sort of quick party that sitcom can.
But sitcoms to me kind of make me a little nervous because I did them. I did a couple of short-lived ones for 2 years and 2 years, and that changing lines on you last minute and throwing stuff at you. It was just like it was always so nerve-wracking that night or that week that I was just like, oh, I just collapse on a Saturday. For me, it was just like, oh my! I remember they threw like this little monologue at me, and they go, "Hey," and right before we went on, you're going to do this, like,
yeah.
I go, what the I can't. And I remember my dad was in the audience and I struggle. I need to let it sink in and take my time. And it was really nerve wracking, but you didn't feel that way.
I think that for better or worse, that's a facility that I have or at least had that I loved that challenge. To me, it was like, when you see DJs making shit up on the spot,
it's a gift.
It's a gift. And I loved when they would throw that at us. And as time went by, particularly with the reboot of Will and Grace, it was less and less of that. It was more like, oh God, what are you changing? Really? Particularly for the girls, they were like, don't give me, what are you doing? I just memorized this today. I love the challenge of hitting the audience with something that they can see the writers just wrote. That's a cool.
Did anybody struggle on either of the shows that you guys have worked on with have you dealt with actors that are just like they just can't do it like you guys?
Yeah, well, like you guys. I mean, it's just it becomes a practiced thing, and when you're a guest actor, as you know,
that's the
worst.
If
you walk onto a train that's already in motion, it can be daunting unless you're up for the challenge, and most people are. But there were some wonderful actors on Wings that had the worst time. Now, P.S. even on the show Chicago Med, where you're doing all this kind of medical techno-babble crap that should only be read off a label on pharmaceuticals, not meant to be spoken aloud. That is murder, and I've adopted all sorts of tricks as a result. But yeah, that happens. People, but also like, Pat Hingle. Remember the actor Pat Hingle? He passed away. He played Commissioner Gordon in Tim Burton's Batman.
Oh, wow.
He, among other things, an award-winning actor, great actor. He did an episode of Wings, this guy that started in live TV in the 50s and won Obies and Tonys and all that stuff. And he was absolutely, I don't want to say thrown, but he was so turned off by this loud kind of pumped up genre. We had a band in the audience, and so it was all about the event. It wasn't just about putting a show together. It was about creating an event for the audience, and he was in hell because he couldn't concentrate. He wanted to go away and concentrate, but there was no quiet place.
Wow.